Mic check, mic check. Don't worry, your mic. I'll let you know. Give me a mic check. Excuse me. All right, go ahead, Osvaldo. Give me some. Give me some.
Mic check.
Ooh, boy. Ooh, there we are. There we are. Finally live. Finally live.
Sound on?
Yeah. Hot mics, hot mics, hot mics. You think I set you up, Osvaldo?
What temperature is it on?
I don't know. Oh, okay. 85.
That's how hot you want to get today?
No. Let's cool down. Let's cool down. Let's turn on the AC. Let's open the windows. Let nature stroll through the room.
Because I think 90 degrees would be perfect.
No. We definitely don't need to go 90 degrees. So I definitely don't have no way of checking. I probably should grab my iPad, but I don't know if we're live or not. Can you check on your phone real quick?
Let's see.
Real quick. So yeah. Oh, I'll probably just put it up here. What I'm doing. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there on their Thursday evenings. If anybody is here to listen to our babbling.
What's the name of your podcast?
Higher Thought Cast. Anything on there?
Yeah.
This we're live. And,
yeah.
And you are watching us. Oh, there you are. All right. Let me see. Give me something as well. How do you sound?
I think it's been sounding pretty good. I think it sounds pretty good.
I think so too. I think. Yeah. All right. Let me shut this off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Higher Thought Cast. I go by Jesus or HT, depending on how well you know me or how close you can get to me. I gotta stick to that branding of introduction.
How well do you know yourself?
Yeah, because then I'm like, who am I today? My Jesus or my HT? Who is talking today? Yeah, you're right. See, Osvaldo, this is why I have you around, man. You're there to remind me about the little things that matter. You know what I mean? But as y'all can see, I have with me today Osvaldo. What's up, man? What's going on? How you feeling?
Pretty good. I'm just trying to say that size matters. So.
Okay.
You just said the small things.
Oh, okay. My fault. Okay, yeah. Okay, I should have worded differently. I didn't mean to offend you and sizing you in the smaller size, Osvaldo. So how's your week, man? How you been? How's everything? It's been a while since we've done just you and I.
How's it?
I'm not that type of person. You lucky if I remember your name tomorrow or your birthday. What's the last one you did? I think it's been a while since you've been on the camera. What's the last one? Was it the soccer episode?
Yeah, one of those. I think it was soccer episode.
Yeah, because the last two was me and then me and Jose. Yeah, you actually haven't been. Damn, you haven't paid your dues, man. What the? No, I'm just joking. Yeah, you haven't been on camera, but it's because you've been busy. You went to Ultra.
Oh yeah, I wasn't here.
Yeah, and then we did the recap. You were busy. Yeah, no, it's all good. That's why I'm glad you're here, man. Honest question, real quick. And you can reverse it back to me if you want. You don't have to. Now that I guess with the amount of consistency that I'm not gonna say force. I don't force anybody to do anything. Everybody that you see at MTI, ladies and gentlemen, they're here because they want to be. If not, their family's gone. No, I'm joking.
Is that a slogan?
I'm joking. No. So as far as us just trying these ideas or this thing that we think we're doing, whatever this is, are you less comfortable on camera? Are you more comfortable? Do you look forward to it? Do you hate it? Where you at now? Because it's technically, this is why I should probably remember dates. So I can tell you exactly how long we've been doing that. I think going on a year or something like that.
You're recording, right?
No, we're streaming.
We're being recorded?
Oh, yeah, no, we're streaming as well. I'm trying to tell you.
Recording.
Yeah,
You never told me this.
No, it's not recording. It's streaming.
You never told me this was going to be on the internet.
Oh, my fault.
I don't think anything
It's because you didn't read the fine print.
I don't think anything I've been saying should be on.
I mean, every time you make a call, you're on the internet. Every time you text, You're just more intentional.
Well,
So
not on my phone.
you're right. You're right. I can't, and we're not gonna discuss that here. That's a separate conversation. But you're definitely not. You're right. You're right. I can't argue that. But aside from the jokes, like, how do you feel about it now? Because you know, I don't want to say force. I pushed for it.
You bribed.
Damn.
You.
What I bribe you with? I don't have nothing to bribe people with. What I bribe you with? Free.
What are those people outside?
They're not here, Osvaldo. This is your imagination.
5 people right now sitting over there. Are they supposed to be your producers or what? I've never seen them before.
They're. I told them to act deaf.
Okay, yeah,
Because to prepare for you, you know.
they hadn't talked to me all day. I don't know.
Yeah, I tell them don't acknowledge him. Tough love.
I walked in here.
He is talent, but don't treat him like talent. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I walked in here and I tried to say hello and
They're like, mm-hmm.
nothing, and I was like, "What the?"
They pointed you to the studio, like, sir, continue on. I tell him when he walks in here, he's talent, but make sure you let him know he's not. All right, we gotta keep him humble. No,
Yeah, again, like it's been a while. I didn't know you have
this new
new
infrastructure.
Yeah, again, with all that bribe money that they're
That's crazy.
That's what it was.
That's crazy. I've never in my life. I think I've never. Have I ever? Have I ever? I'm trying to think.
Probably your line of work.
Excuse me? You mean your line of work? Don't you bribe somebody for a paper or something? No. Jokes aside, shout out to the 5 people in here too that are doing their job. They're employees. There's no bribing in here. We don't got employees yet. We're getting there though. But have you ever paid intention?
Pay to play?
Yeah, pay to play. I don't like the other word. What's the other word?
Bribe.
Pay
to play, and then there's bribe.
My dyslexia is gonna have me on bride. I'm never gonna get there.
They're all the same, so it's fine.
Pay to play. That's crazy. So, have you ever paid to play?
Well, yeah, like on any video game, you have to pay.
But is that a bribe? Not bribe.
No, that one's not.
Because you can't pay to be better, or you can't pay to get ahead.
Microtransactions.
But it's not a bribe. That's a microtransaction.
They can be considered a bribe.
Please tell me. What do you mean?
You're paying money in exchange for a 1-up.
Okay.
For an advantage.
For an advantage? Yeah, for armor or for a gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because not everybody's gonna be able to buy it. Would you be comfortable with a bribe? Like, if you let's say we were somewhere in Russia, because we're in Russia, I guess, and there's this one sticky situation that we had to put all our money in our pockets and whatever that is. I don't even know what currency they use in Russia. What is that? But would you be comfortable bribing somebody?
Didn't you just say yesterday that you just bribe someone by paying them double the amount of money?
Oh yeah, you're right. No, then I've definitely bribed some people in my lifetime. No, but without saying too much, I was younger, a little ignorant, living a different type of lifestyle per se. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, because around that time, no 16-year-old could just walk in and get a phone, and then you know what? This is where we're actually gonna take this shit today. No, because no. I know what I could share. I'm not gonna share the other stuff, but what I could share. Cause think about it. Some skinny brown kid with a big ass head and some random hat. It's probably white Yankee hat. I used to wear a lot of white Yankee hats back then.
You didn't wear one today? Isn't that what you've been wearing?
Yeah. Cause I like New York. I really appreciate New York. I feel like I got a lot from New York. Like,
what do you have from you?
I think my aesthetic, just in general, like it, in just that mindset. But anyways. So I walked in, right? 16. No social security. Fuck no. Not even close. I didn't even exist.
No IT number?
Oh, that wasn't even a thing, but you still had to pay out of state college tuition around that time. No, they were not nice to immigrants back then. So I was trying to get my first phone ever because the first one that I got, my mom got for me for sure. But that one, I wanted to get it, and then I did everything, the paperwork, blah blah blah. And it was like, because they allowed me to get that far. It was already sketchy because you could tell I was a little ass boy. So right. And then I guess, his consciousness got him at the end. He's like, oh, it's because, I can't do it. Like, you had me 2 hours in here filling this bullshit paper, and I'm not going to get a phone. And I was excited. This was a sidekick.
What type of phone was that? Was that an Android?
Sadly, it was.
So
before the golden era started, yes, it was.
You could say that the Androids kind of started your love for phones, smartphones.
Whoa. It was an Android, but it was not a smartphone. Chill out.
No, an Android is still a smartphone.
No, but back then it wasn't the smartphone. It wasn't considered a smartphone.
What was it considered?
It was just the regular phone. The Sidekick was considered a smartphone because then that came later when the smartphone is just a full screen.
Oh, so they didn't have a full screen.
No. It was literally, it looked like a computer.
Old Sidekick.
Right. You gotta understand the difference of you and I. Yes. Yeah. No, not the new one. No.
Okay.
It was like the computer looking one, and the little screen went, and it had the full keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we didn't have smartphones yet. We had cell phones, but it was an Android because. You guys are still boring, and you guys are still kicking. The software was Android.
No, Android would have been an actual smartphone or full screen.
Anyways, so I was like, and then he comes up with this, and I'm like, and he gets his manager. I'm like, man. And so I was like, so I just start talking to the manager. I'm like, you know what? I'm annoyed. I'm hot. I'm hungry. I'm still not gonna get a phone. So I didn't think it was gonna work. I was like, look. And then I pull out whatever was in my pocket. And then I give them probably double of what everything already was. And he just signed off on it, and I left with the phone. But I didn't think it was going to work. I was just kind of annoyed in the way I was thinking in those times. I was like, man, what was the worst going to, somebody's going to report me because I bribed up T-Mobile work.
Okay. You bribed the T-Mobile.
Like, it's on them. They're not gonna work there in 6 months probably.
So what made you go double instead of like 1.5?
Because that's how bad the mindset was.
I need to go double or go home.
No, if I'm honest with you, I didn't really think about it in that way. It's just whatever that hand pulled out, that's what it was gonna be.
That's how much money you had at that time.
No, I didn't. I had Bitcoin. You want to bring up the smartphone and shit? I had Bitcoin. I know what you're talking about. Pay with Bitcoin. I gave him some Bitcoin that day. He didn't even know what it was.
Was that how much you usually carry around day to day?
Yeah, but only because I was going to the mall.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're a big spender at the mall.
No, I wasn't. I was a small spender. I'm cheap. Extremely cheap. No. I knew, and I think either I had cousins with me or something, and I just wanted to make sure the food and shit like that was, didn't have to worry.
So big spender for the family then?
Nope. No spending for family. I don't even care about my family like that. Nope. They don't get nothing. No, I'm joking. But anyways, yeah, I did bribe. That's one time that I definitely. That's probably the first time. No, but I never have since then. There were opportunities after that, but then I was just, I don't know. That time I think I was just annoyed. I was hungry. I was like, Daddy, I'm not getting a phone. What do you mean? So I just went with my quick move. But no. And then I don't think I've ever been bribed neither. Maybe not consciously, maybe unconsciously. Right? Because at some point you interchange some sort of service.
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot too.
Right?
Where you don't even think it's bribing, but it's such a small advantage, I guess, to the other person that you don't even see it as an advantage or care.
Yeah, or to acknowledge it in that way where you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Would it be equivalent to, how sometimes, and I don't know how often you go to gas stations. I don't go that often now, but you remember, how some people they're like, no, keep it as change, or the cashier be like, no, here's a quarter, so you don't have to pay the dollar. Is it almost in that way?
Kinda like it's like, or even like at a restaurant or anywhere, like you tell them keep the change. That's kind of a unconscious bribe,
See what I mean? See?
unconscious bribe.
But same thing to you, right? Jeez, unconscious bribe. Damn, that's what Osvaldo likes, ladies and gentlemen. Like the unconscious.
Well, yeah, that's what ends up happening. But an unconscious bribe for when you go next time, like they'll be like, "Oh, this guy will leave me a tip, so I'm gonna be extra helpful."
Do you do you think there's such thing as a bribe, but maybe it's not a tangible thing, right? Like a
Yeah,
favor.
yeah, exactly. A favor could be a bribe.
A favor could be a bribe now.
Mm-hmm.
Bribe. God damn, son. We're out here looking crazy today. Two dyslexic hermits just going at it. Life on stream. I'm joking, by the way. So as far as your moral compass, where you stand on bribes? You willing to take them? Are you willing to give them? Or are you just kind of, that's not?
Well, it depends on the context.
Well, what's the context that needs to be had for Osvaldo Morales to pull out that Bitcoin?
Well, it depends if anyone's hurt.
Go get a life. Yeah.
If anyone's getting hurt, then at that point,
So what do you mean if anybody's getting hurt? What do you mean by that?
like 5 people you have here, like if anything were to
Quiet.
happen to them, again, as shown here, then at that point I would not ride.
Oh, so if I was hurting them, and I to be like, look, shut up, Osvaldo. You didn't even seen these 5 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't be for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody is getting hurt by you overlooking the situation,
Exactly.
you're not taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the context of?
No one's getting.
But that's you receiving it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the context of you bribing somebody
Well,
or
same
something?
thing.
As long as nobody's getting hurt, you're
Yeah.
down to bribe, down to pay to play.
Of course. That's how things work. Like you got a phone by doubling your amount. Do the same thing for other things.
You're right, but now I'm thinking, did I get bribed to ignore the Chinese get that bill in my phone?
Yes.
Right? Because that's the reality. But I don't care. And you were saying, I mean, obviously they're getting paid and they're making whatever they're making, but still getting hurt, right? The child labor. What do you think about that one? Because if the way you're explaining it, it would make a lot of people that buy certain type of products, you're overlooking it because you rather be looked at, oh, you have the newest thing.
But this would be more of a conversation in manufacturing. The ethical practice.
Lecture 101 with Mr. Morales. But so well, let's go. We're here. Bride God is here, whatever you want to call it. This mic is crazy loose. Pause. So is there any way to be ethical? Is there any way to make enough money, be ethical, or is it make money and not be ethical? Because I don't think there's a world in reality that both can exist. Because I know a lot of people definitely make U.S. products. Like I know a lot of brands that are 100% U.S., but that's why they'll sell their jackets or even their pants to 200 and up or 300, because making things in America is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's because from my standpoint, there's not a reality where we can be ethical and make money.
That's why making money is unethical.
Dun 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 dun. You guys heard it first from Mr. Morales. Making money is unethical, you dirty bastards. Go wash your hands.
If you want it to be ethical, it has to be a trade. But you could say doing a job is it.
So, if you were to start making products of any sort, would you make them in the U.S. or are you outsourcing for the cheap labor? Or we just, go give Mexicans some jobs? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I say that 'cause I'm Mexican.
So again, you have to pay. In this instance, you have to save money.
No, definitely.
So I would say the most ethical way of products would not to make.
Oh, you guys heard it first.
But again, people aren't gonna do. So what's the second option for? Second option would for you would be to source all your.
Remember my first name? This motherfucker crazy. Didn't you just hear I bribed a T-Mobile worker? Talking crazy over here. No, I'm joking. Go ahead. So the second thing where we 100% make it ourselves. And right now, maybe that sounds hard, but let's say we can 3D print everything. The essentials.
Then you have to buy a 3D printer, and then where does that come from? Where does
Who makes
the
a 3D
materials
printer?
come from?
Oh, that's true, right? Because there's some kid like drowning in ink to dye our pants type thing, right?
Of course.
You're gonna wear them pants though, right? I need pants. It's cold out there. I'm joking, guys. So in reality, do we ever stop making products? Do we ever stop being products?
No, again, that's what I was saying. So you are gonna make a product. You are gonna have to outsource your work where someone is cheated on.
Somebody's gonna get screwed at the end, right?
Mm-hmm. And again, it's either you continue on, or you end up pay to play enough, where you have paid enough, where you're just playing the game or making money while. At that point, outsourced states pay a bit more.
Well, and maybe this is a bad question for the where economically we stand right now as a whole, but technically, if the economy is good enough and people are working and making money, we should be able to cover how much more expensive these materials and products will be. Because when you make something in the U.S., like I said, I know people that make pants or even shirts here. It's 200 and up. If there's a good economy, you think it could work in that way where we just, if we get behind the whole U.S. thing and we just say, let's just, let's do everything in-home integrated.
Possibly, because again, even what you just stated right now, where the materials come.
Oh yeah,
where's
the cotton come from?
Where's their equipment?
But what if 100% every last step of that is here?
And I guess at that point, I could see it be feasible.
But it would have to go down the line, right?
Yeah.
Where no one step is outsourced.
Yeah.
Right? No, but I mean, that's why export import is so valid to like how everything's been structured, because things get cheaper. Even back then when people would travel on camels through deserts to get other spices, it was a thing, right? You have to go there. It might be cheaper or more expensive, depending on this. But aside from the seriousness of that standpoint, if you had to make one product as Osvaldo, what are you making? Like, what is it? What's the Osvaldo product that we're gonna outsource the Chinese kids make for us? What would it be? It could be anything. Just obviously anything can be a product.
If I wanted to make any product,
You're about to sponsor us.
It would just be.
All right. Well, let's imagine this. Well, first, what's the name?
Oh, I don't have a name.
You don't have a name. Okay. So what do you have? Do you have like the body style? Do you have if you want to be electric
No,
or?
I just have the foundation basically.
Oh,
So
please elaborate, sir.
it's no one has made not no one has made it because it's not
Not
yeah, it's
profitable.
not profitable. But it's exactly what I'm looking
Okay, okay, okay. So this is good. This is good. Okay, okay. So, because I want to hear about what's feasible for you and your preference. But let's say the first rule was you got to sell a car so we can move units so you can make your perfect car. For you to have that perfect car that is feasible to you. So let's let's brainstorm. What would be the car from your design or your idea that would sell? It would become a hit.
So
Per
what's
se.
selling right now are like SUVs and like
For real, they came back strong, bro. I thought the Suburban was dead. That thing is still kicking. I
I
see
think
new
it's
Suburbans just come out.
I think it's what's strong right now is all truck.
Like almost hatchback SUV ish, but
Kinda so
lifted,
like
right?
Ford just brought back the new truck or truck
Yeah, it was like those early 60, 70 type vibes, almost 80s.
80s, 90s, like the
There's an 80s, 90s. Those small trucks, the
yeah,
small pickups with the small bed, like
exactly.
the one cabin.
Yeah, those are what's coming back. Like Toyota has been making the longest.
Yeah, it's the most. I think it does well, right?
Yeah, that's super well.
Aside from the Forerunner, I think is the second one for them
Probably.
in that range.
So again, they're doing really good in that aspect. They've been doing it for the longest,
Yeah.
but in the past, like
Mm-hmm.
the market has.
Yeah. I think last time we spoke about cars. Yeah, cause can you pinpoint when the sports car died in the U.S.?
I was like,
Was it the 90s,
uh,
80s,
sports cars died. I want to
the
say
60s? No
no,
way.
no. It's like
Oh, early. Oh, that's true,
it
right?
was like 2000.
And
Porsche was out with sports. Um,
mm-hmm.
reason it that was because Porsche didn't want to make it.
Of course not. That's not their thing.
Yeah, so but they were in such financial crisis that they kind of had to.
Gotta do what they gotta do, right, to
Yeah,
survive.
they saw that that's where the market was. Supercars or sports cars were dying, so the sporty SUV and sold really well.
Still selling.
Yeah, and that's what made most sports
Mm,
cars didn't. So they have
gotcha.
the on Cayenne,
Cayenne. Yeah,
Cayenne.
it's Cayenne.
Those reason Porsche still makes the sports cars are because of
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's because they can afford after moving those units
mm-hmm.
to make the RS, the R3,
Yeah.
and all that. Okay, so are you telling me that are you making a small SUV? Are you making a big SUV?
So
Keep speaking. Keep speaking.
the trend has always been large SUV, but past 5 years on to I would say a small SUV.
Small SUV.
Small SUV. So the reason sedans were so big is because they're easy to get in around, and with SUVs or even crossovers,
Mm.
they're also easy. easier to get into since they're higher off the ground,
That's true. That's true.
and you have way more space.
Yeah.
That's why they're made so popular.
Okay. So they're easy, they're smaller, and they're probably easier to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper to probably reproduce a certain amount, and that's what you actually see on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so you would go with what the market is asking for as far as how things are going.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the it car for Osvaldo? What's the preference?
My dream car would
Porsche.
for that sporty look. It has to have
Liftback.
so kind of
Okay.
like a hatchback.
Mm-hmm. You don't like it? Do you like hatchbacks?
So it's not a hatchback, but it's a liftback.
It's just a little bit like that, basically.
So it's like a hatch,
Uh-huh.
but on its back. So like think of tips.
So it's just a sedan, but when you open the thing, it opens like a hatch.
Not a sedan because a sedan like kind of like flips over.
Okay.
The hatch liftback it up so it has it the
Your Eclipse, isn't that what you're saying,
the
right?
Eclipse has it too.
Yeah.
The
I
reason
mean,
like
your
it-
Ferrari, my fault.
The reason I like it is because put a lot of like storage wise.
It's the best. It's
It's-
probably the best.
Yeah,
That's true.
storage
I do
wise
see
is the
that.
best. Because if you go for like a normal trunk, space isn't good.
Yeah, that's true though, cause I remember my mom. She got her hands on this '88 Acura Integra.
Yeah.
It was mint condition, and it was the lights were flat,
Mm-hmm.
but it was one of those when you open it, it was a hatchbacky kind of
the whole
vibe.
thing lifted
Open,
up.
yeah, open,
exactly.
yeah. I do remember that. And that, yeah, I remember the groceries were easily be in there.
For it to have
4 seats,
so to a front and a
individualized or connected in the back,
well, just like
just regular
just regular like
2 in the back.
yeah, and I know a lot of people.
Are you gonna want somebody to actually sit?
Well, because the reason I want them is for know if you.
You don't.
So I would like to be prepared because right now we have like the BRZ.
Mhm.
It has
There's 2 on the back, right?
back, but then the back is a trunk.
Oh, okay.
So that doesn't fit.
Got you.
Then we have and
Yeah.
the Z,
Mm-hmm.
which do have a lift,
They do, both of them.
but they don't.
The new Supra has no seats in the back.
Mm-mm.
It's just trunk
just-
space.
Yeah.
It's like the Honda 2000
Yeah.
or
It's
the
just-
Miata.
Yeah, it's just seats.
So
and
there's, but it looks like there's 2 seats.
well, it's just 2 seats up front, but there's no 2. Back.
It's just trunk space.
Yeah,
And the Z's the same.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
those would be perfect cars, I guess.
Okay,
Thanks.
but let's be realistic. But we live in a city where snow is real. Is that still perfect for that?
So, well, again, going back to my expectations, I would also want it to have all-wheel drive.
Okay,
Again,
well, that's
and
what
then
I'm
that
asking.
would-
That's
that
what I'm
would be-
asking.
That would be for again. There are all-wheel drive cars that.
My old E30. Oh, I love that thing. That shit was all-wheel drive and a 6-speed.
I think manual transmission.
Just manual?
Yeah.
When do you think you're gonna finally switch to electric?
I would. Also, going back to the specifications, there's a G37X.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a liftback, but it's
No, I don't think
2-door.
it's not.
It has 4 seats.
Mhm.
It's all-wheel drive, but it does not have not coming,
Oof.
and it doesn't have. The only ones that do have that qualification are the Audi TT,
Yeah.
which is and coming standard. It does have 4 seats. It is all-wheel drive,
Yeah.
and it has a lift.
All-wheel drive? That
Mhm.
little shit's all-wheel drive?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And then the second generation is GSX, same lift back, all wheel drive. And before that, you have like the Celica 4. So they used to be around before.
They were really around. That's
Subaru,
what all it was.
Yeah, Subaru. They made an STI like that with 2 doors as well.
Mm-hmm. It was a hatchback.
That one wasn't a hatchback though.
2-door.
Trunk.
No, it was that little Baja truck. I think you're talking about the
No,
Subaru Baja
no, that's a truck, but there was an actual like
car sedan.
like a coupe. Yeah, 2-door.
Okay.
So the combinations like they're super like what I wanting. Like it's either you get this option or option. Never really
Yeah, and it's almost like on purpose.
kinda, yeah. So like you have to sacrifice something. You have to sacrifice seats. You have to sacrifice storage. You have to sacrifice mission. Sacrifice all-wheel drive.
Us, well, besides maybe a manual transmission, I would sacrifice everything for all-wheel drive. Because when I did used to have that E30, then that was the coolest thing because I didn't have to wear it, and I could still be in a sports quote unquote car and like go fast.
Yeah, because that's what I was just thinking about this the other day actually, because I was thinking, what if I get a new, what car would I get?
See, now we're gonna know who's actually the big spender, ladies and gentlemen.
And again, my first choice right now is the E, but that's kind of expensive. So I was like, okay, what would be the next car? Next reasonable car, it would have to not be a wood drive.
Definitely.
And there are a bunch, again, like how you said, there's a bunch of sports cars that are all-wheel drive.
Not stick shift.
And not stick shift. But much knowledge as I have about cars, I could not think.
You have like a top 3?
I can't. I've never even thought about it. I was thinking, I was like, what if I had to choose? What would I get? Okay. I haven't done any. Never even crossed my mind.
What if you just bought a truck? Because I know you like cars, and I do know you like sports car. That's for sure. But I feel like you're comfortable in a truck.
The truck is cool.
One cabin type joint.
But it just
doesn't hit the same. It's a sedan.
Yeah, or as like it's not. It's
coupe enough.
It's cool, but it doesn't. Yeah, it's completely the opposite.
What about Miata then?
Miata is cool. I've thought about getting.
They're new ones. It's not the old ones anymore.
I've been thinking about getting an old one.
Well, that would be cool too.
Like the old ones.
Yeah.
90s. But again, those are more like a rear-wheel drive drift car.
What about a Z?
Yeah, again, but also rear-wheel.
I know, but with a manual, because before the E30, I had another 1987, and that was basic model. It was a 325 IE. Like, it was what women would buy in those times for Beamers. And I had no tires at that time. But I would drive it in snow. And I feel a manual engine, if you know how to drive, that is your all-wheel drive. Because you have pretty good control.
Okay.
What do you think about that? Is that a thing, or am I tripping?
Yeah.
Or was I risking it every day that season?
Yes, because in the manual transmission, you were able to control your engine speed and your engine power. Automatic transmission, your transmission is just trying to go save gas or like give you the power.
Trying to make you feel comfortable. That's all it really is.
So when you, like, let's say you're in a situation where you're sliding out in an automatic transmission, yes, you can just step on it and get the power back to where want it to, or kind of control.
But you can
your
catch
side.
it on a manual.
But yeah, on a manual, you could basically be prepared for it.
Yeah, you can catch it. Like,
yeah,
I remember my red Beamer would literally, like, that side, it would always kind of almost try to corner me.
mm-hmm.
But if I downshift or upshift, depending where I was at, I could catch it, and I wouldn't let it tail out.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, but there's something to say about manual transmission though. It's just you being able to have that level of control and really knowing, because driving a manual transmission, from my opinion, is you're really, you know, the car, you're really connected it, you know what it is, right? And if, when you don't shift right, or whatever, or and shake until it dies, right? It's really like there in the moment, and you're fully got it. Yeah, there's definitely, because I still miss it to this day. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was, obviously, aside from bullshit traffic, that's definitely annoying in a manual transmission. I won't lie to you about that. But when you're just driving, it's the best thing ever. And with me, I got to the point where I didn't even use the brake. Like, yeah, or just neutral, yeah, and you don't even have to hit the brake, really, unless some dumbass got in front of you, right? But all right, so let's get a little bit away from the car conversation, because I always kind of wanted to put you on the spot with this question, and for some reason today I remembered. It's not too bad, because I'm not horrible like you, and I like my friends. So obviously, one of the big differences between you and I is that you like a certain type of music. That today I will not dare to say it. No, I'm joking. EDM music, right? That's what your thing is, right?
What is
I don't know. You tell me. What does it stand for? You're the one who sold your soul, not me. Turn around. Let's see what they put on your bag. What does that stand for? Electronic dance music?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess. I've been hanging out with these fools way too much. But anyways, so we know that, right? And I'm obviously the hip hop head here, because Jesus, like I told you guys in the last stream, only time I can talk about hip hop when they're all gone at an EDM show. So from your narrow perspective on hip hop right now, and you can't miss it, it's still there, even if you're not a fan, hip hop will hit you one way or another. What do you think the state of it is? Just as the narrow, not really a fan of this music, doesn't really follow, doesn't really get it, but where do you, like, just because you are on social media, you're on Reddit, so you know what's going on generally, right? So what do you think the state of hip hop is from a person that's not really into it as yourself?
Classical.
Oh, he said, we're really 50, bitch.
No, but I mean,
like, we're like,
mainstream.
if you go to a different country and they ask you, because you're American, like, how's hip hop in America, how would you explain it to that person?
How's hip?
Yeah, like, let's say a person asks you, like how's hip hop in America? What's hip hop in America? Like, let's say we didn't have the internet, how would you explain it? Like, you being this person that's not really a fan of it, or is not really into that, what that is, like, how would you explain?
Yeah, hippity and hop.
Oh, that's hippity hop. See, this is why I have 5 guys in here, and he thinks he's gonna get bribed, but he's gonna put in a trunk, like his friend Camilo. You know what I mean? No, but seriously, what's your opinion on what you little bit see right now as far as hip hop?
I feel like it's too hard to. It's a whole movement.
Oh, now you it's crazy, bro. Just know, guys, I deal with psychopaths. My friends are all psychos. This guy.
It's.
But if you had to, like, say something about it, like, what would your general perspective, opinion be on this thing? Because, like I said, you're not a fan. You're not, you're not into it. It's not what you listen to.
I have limited knowledge on hop.
Excuse me, sir? Say that one more time. So, the people are really going to see some action tonight on the stream. He was saying hippity hop. That's crazy. Sound like that kangaroo. that movie about the kangaroo they made along in the early 2000s. Kangaroo Jack, what's his name? The red hoodie. Yeah, they did that little. Never mind. Don't piss me off. But
like so, from it's about expression, about showing where you came, expressing your experience,
okay.
And putting a lyrical uh lyrical rhyming way to
Mm-hmm.
it, or like having it flow in a certain way.
So if you wake up tomorrow and I tell you hip hop is not doesn't no longer have to be lyrical, what would be your reaction?
I think it could work. Hip hop.
It would still be hip hop to you?
Because hip hop has evolved into
Yeah, it's so many things now.
so like the basis of the hip hop beat.
It's a soul sample.
It's its own thing now.
Yep.
And it's also evolved a ED
No, it's definitely in there.
called trap music.
Yep.
Not the same thing.
Trap music made it in there.
As other trap music.
You know what? Real quick, side note. You said trap music. I think trap music is the number one door that has allowed all these other things to exist.
Which trap music?
Well, the original trap music, we talk about rap.
Okay.
That's where that comes from, and then it stemmed it to be whatever.
Yeah.
But trap music has opened the door for everybody else as far as to have an easier go at hip hop, I think. But yeah. So okay. And you think in 50 years we're still gonna listen to hip hop?
I've been
Does
thinking
it
about
make it?
this.
Does it make it to 100?
So yesterday I was listening. I was on the radio.
All right, skippity doo, calm the fuck down. You from the 40s? I was on the radio as you do, skippity doo. The fuck? Go ahead, Mitch.
The radio, and they played.
So you were listening to it?
Yeah, I was listening to the radio.
Okay.
They were playing.
No, that's a Mexican region classic. They would say it.
So
it's a party favor. La Chona.
And I'm not sure how old the song.
Has to be 15 to 20.
Yeah. So
because we were little as fuck when that was playing.
Mm-hmm.
I was little as shit.
Yeah. I know it's been a while. So
they love it. It's a classic.
It's still played widely.
That's true, and it's widely accepted.
It's a 20-year-old song.
And then I think they've EDM remixed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now, if we go 20 years back, that song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could compare years ago from that. Chona.
No, because, and it hurts me to say this, but that track is timeless. There's some timeless about that.
But even that style, though, that style from 40 years ago versus 20 years ago, not comparable.
Okay, so let's have the real conversation about music then. Is there any more timeless music?
I think so, because now, well, kind of, like, think about, okay, so
is
now,
there anything now that we are going to play 20, 30 years from now?
We can't say.
That we're making out, because we have everything from the 80s, the 70s that we still play. People still listen to the Beatles. People still listen to those rock bands that when rock was rock, right? People still listen to Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan.
Yes, but okay, think of it this way. I'm using Hispanic music as Mexican music.
That's where he's from.
Bases.
That's where he's from.
But 40 years ago, music wasn't super comparable. There are certain 30 years ago could have been comparable.
Okay. So say that one more time. So 30 years ago is not comparable to 20 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe 30 years ago.
So what do you mean by that? How is it not comparable? In what way? As
So
far as
in the rhythm,
original
and
Mexican music?
yeah, in the rhythm, the message is still kind of the same, but kind of rhythm and the way the music. And I guess
Okay.
this goes back to like, on up in technology, easier to record.
Yeah.
But now, if we look at the music from today versus 20 years ago, they are pretty comparable.
They made a U-turn, right? Kind of came back around. You think
Kind
so?
of. So, if you were to like, there's songs that probably show me today, and
That
like
you?
probably show like a song like years ago,
Uh-huh.
and I say it was,
Right.
that's how comparable. So now, how do we go to the future? How is years will the music today?
And yeah, and that's what I'm asking you. Is there enough timeless music, or just by the nature of how everything comes cycles back around, we're gonna go back to it, even though maybe it's not as timeless, or the cycling makes it timeless?
Because I think it also depends on actually
Okay.
because most of the music I know is because parents
Yeah.
or like some of the music my mom as a teenager.
Same.
So again, that music is
Shout out to Yuri. Was in town. My mom wanna go see her.
that music I'll pass down. Now, am I gonna pass?
Nah, you're gonna pass that. I can't even make the damn noise to make the joke.
So at that point,
Okay. The only part I disagree on that, because you're right.
mhm,
It depends what we're gonna pass down. And usually in a tight knit family dynamic, that does have a lot of
yeah,
influence. But sometimes cultures have a way just being it, because as far as the música original de, oh, I said that backwards, I think. I can't even, don't, yeah. The Mexican music that we're speaking about is crazy. Because in town now, it's been passed down, but in town now, the same thing's been passed down, and finally, it seems to have a slope of adaptation or modernization for the, because I always thought Mexican music, banda, and all that, the reason why it kept coming back because the lifestyle didn't change. It was always kind of and I always say this out loud, when me and you were growing up and how our family would play that type of music, it was the old guy singing to the little girl, if we're honest, right? But now, so this modernization and this spike in this adaptation that it is making, the guy singing to a girl of his age. But that really happened maybe 5 years ago, maybe 10 now.
probably like 10, 15.
Yeah, something like that, right? But the reason why it was timeless because the lifestyle never changed. The lifestyle never changed.
So you were saying instead of it being passed down from me to other people
Yeah.
or from parents to family, more of a culture.
Yeah, because I think what the Mexican culture is not noticing and why this adaptation or modernization is finally happening is because the future is, or this moment that we're all in, affects everything now. You can't hide in your culture no more. And that's why when you do see the young dudes right now killing it, that all the young Mexican, Latino kids love right now are mimicking.
Featherweight.
Sure, you said it, not me. The vehicle that they're using to modernize themselves, like I always say, like reggaeton did, is hip hop.
Yeah.
Right? Because before it was an enclosed thing. You only were at this party because whatever reason. Now the culture's that has a crack in it, and now you can't stop it because of the internet mainly, right? Because before it was a close knit. Because before, let's say you're the same age as me, right? Because I am older than you. You probably wouldn't have liked EDM music. There's a high chance that you, if you came from like the era that I came from, as far as the culture, there would have been a high chance that maybe you would have dabbled and it would have been cool, but you really wouldn't have it because back when I was coming around, it was even tighter. You know what I mean? So it seems like nothing can be done behind closed doors no more.
Yeah, I agree. This has a lot to do with culture. It's going back to when, like,
have you ever actually listened to a Beatles track?
I have not.
Why not?
Culture. And again, this goes back. This is what I was trying to say.
My fault.
Everyone talks about how timeless,
relatively,
or there's a lot of like rock music, Metallica, or again timeless, and it is and it isn't.
Let me know what's up.
So, a lot of rock music is played in like trailers. The reason for that, rights to that type of music, is very easy. So, yes, 20 years ago, that music in that trailer was a big impact. Super cool.
Right.
But now it's not getting the same. With that same rock song. Now, this doesn't look.
So, are you saying that how the internet and the moment that we're living in, it's even affecting the timelessness of it? Because aside from whatever the culture that you're from, Mexican, because this is not the first time I hear somebody say this, especially specifically when you mention the Beatles or even Metallica and stuff of that nature. And I don't know what generation it is exactly, but yeah, there's a dismissiveness that you're not gonna listen to it, and maybe due to that simple fact, or maybe the time is so different that the appreciation of that is gone past. It's outdated. It's spoiled. Let me tell you a quick story about spoiled stuff, right? And this is why I can't drink milk to this day. Well, I don't. Well, I'm lactose intolerant. I remember sometimes I'd wake up, I'd be excited, bro. Saturday cartoons, and I'd get the cereal, and then the milk would be spoiled. I hated that shit. A couple times, but maybe that's exactly what you're saying, and that's why, aside from obvious cultural things, maybe you will never, you don't, and even if I did play a Beatles song for you, maybe the appreciation can't be seen.
Yeah, like again, I understand how big they are. I understand their impact, but their music is not gonna. It's not gonna resonate.
But from movie trailers to commercials, there's still a couple ones that are consistently used.
But again, that goes back to a lot of them are
Easier to purchase,
licensed.
cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
or the artist doesn't actually own it, and you can just go pay
You can just
Sony.
license it. Never.
That's true. That's a big thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You know when Michael Jackson died, he owned all of the Beatles, um, records, and he owned half of Sony. When Michael Jackson died, he owned all their catalog and owned half of Sony. He was 50% owner of Sony Records. That's crazy, bro. He owned of all the Beatles catalog and half of Sony.
And see, like, that's definitely profitable, or like you can definitely build some wealth with it. But how long until it's not relevant anymore?
So, is the microwave vibes that we kind of got going on in our era kind of invading that timelessness of something? Because as soon as a certain generation dies off, maybe that's it.
Because that's what's happening to cars right now.
Mm-hmm.
Cars of the 70s, like 20 years ago, big, large amount.
That's true. That's a fact.
But
now they're not doing well.
Yeah, that population is dying off. No one, our generation, my generation.
Yeah, now what is retro is early 2000 stuff.
The 90s.
90s stuff, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I won't buy 90s. Because again, growing up in the 2000s,
You got to see that run.
like I saw the 90s car.
When you seen a Supra in the 90s, you were amazed because they were street legal. You remember those glimpses.
So like, I wouldn't get an 80s car. But maybe if I grew up in the 90s, I would want it.
So, and this goes back to, I think I made it a caption on one of my photos that I posted a while back. When does nostalgia stop being a thing?
Like, it doesn't until it just gets complete. So right now,
or the whole infrastructure is changed, and this would be the best time because everything is changing.
So like, glasses. The style is from the 50s, 70s, 50s, 60s.
You look like you're like one of those scientists.
Yeah, so
that
like
couldn't say a word.
That's the current trend.
Yeah. So, and the 70s and the 80s. The 80s is still there, but it's the big 90s vibe. That's why all the baggy stuff came back. That's crazy. I never thought we would go back to that mess.
So how far do we go back where it's not back to?
No, we can't because there was nothing to go back to.
Yeah, so we could
that's when you had to use the pillowcase as your pajamas type shit.
And like that was around the time where t-shirts were.
True. That's a fact.
T-shirts were invented as.
Mm-hmm. Extremely.
So, and at that point, it was saying.
I mean, technically they are.
Yeah, technically. And I feel like the earliest style we can go.
Yeah, because I mean, Blinker Blinders. That's that kind of vibe, right? Is that 20s or 40s? No, I think that's 40s. No, that's 40s.
I remember, but like
the
Great Gatsby, like that's roaring 20s.
Yeah.
And I know that was like a style, and I feel like it could come back later on, but it's gonna have a limit.
So, look, because I honestly, from just observation, is that through all the big changes that we are going through and will go through, at some point, nostalgia, I don't know. Something about nostalgia bothers me in the way where it keeps us in this one place. And it always does that, right? And it's from the human part of ourselves where we like familiar things. We like things that we seen our mom do. We like things we seen our dad do or listen to, right? But when do humans stop dwelling on nostalgia? Because And I'm saying it from the standpoint because I would consider myself an old soul for sure. Like I like the two cars I just mentioned. One was an '87. One was an '89. Those were and I love that. Those why I bought those cars because that aesthetic to me is just so cool. But when do we just, you know?
Like as humanity?
Yeah. When does nostalgia stop being this placebo we go back to? Never, because I feel like it kind of has to.
Because think of it right now. Like I'm pretty sure nostalgia was around 1,000 years. Oh,
No. Nostalgia's been around since humans been around, right? It's you can literally say it's a human variable, right?
Because like during the Renaissance, like
Da Vinci.
I know after Renaissance
It got
or like
sad.
the Light Age, I'm pretty sure they reminisced on, and we still kind of do. Like we still want like that. Like, people still talk about like Renaissance art
That's
or like
true,
art style.
but that's not nostalgia. I I'll argue that that's not nostalgia. That's a critical moment in art.
So what would be?
I guess it could be a kind of nostalgia, but when I think nostalgia, because like I think we've spoken about it on here and off here, you can't deny a moment. You know what I mean? We don't. 9/11 is nostalgic because it was tragic. But regardless of how you feel about that or your loss in that, it happened.
Yes, but same thing what I was talking about earlier. We're being born now. Well, like something I saw on the internet, like like
Osvaldo
what
just discovered the internet, ladies and gentlemen.
people saying,
Like, say it like that.
people saying like, oh, I wasn't like. There's posts on the internet talking about, oh, what were you doing during 7?
Yeah.
Now there's people saying,
So is that the door that we leave open where nostalgia has to creep in?
yes and no. So a lot of
Aside from being a historical moment?
so a lot of the comments were like, what? Like that's crazy. Like I can't imagine not living.
That's a weird comment.
Like because again, you're
Do
kind
the
of
math. Do the math.
yeah, but people are stuck in their time. Like
And that's my issue. And that's kind of what I like to when I say like nostalgia has to go, bruh. Because in this moment we're slowly having, as my good friend across from me would say, it's only going to get more rapid. And the proactivity that you have to do to not be left behind, you have to leave everything from back then behind. And that's my problem. Get out of your time, bro. Because that's why you sometimes see people that are not even that old age faster. You're in your time, but this time is, it's like if you were in the ocean all your life and then some reason it became a desert, you better learn how to walk, better learn how to breathe, right? Because your time is gone, and if you want to coexist, is this, and that's you said it. That's what I was trying to say. That's my problem with nostalgia. Nostalgia holds us back from adaptation and true proactivity to the futuristic change that is on the way. And that's my problem with nostalgia. And I'm saying it not from my preference or because I do like old stuff. I'm not going to lie. I do. I don't know. For some reason, I always like the 80s. And I'm not even that old.
What's your age preference?
Chill out. That's crazy. Good one, huh? Fair game. I forgot where we were at, gentlemen. Got too comfortable. His father just sucker punched me real quick. I was like, oh shit, we're still on here, huh? Good one. That's funny. that's gonna be a short. That's perfect. That's gonna be a short. We're gonna make that bitch a short right there. But nostalgia is bad for us, man. I truly believe that. Now, let's be proactive And then let's get to the point where we can just download these things or memories or whatever you want to call them or dreams, get crazy. But right now in this moment, nostalgia is really bad for us. I honestly think it holds us back in a weird way.
Because, again, these people are like stuck in their time. And, but again, thinking about it, there are people now on the internet that don't have no recollection of
Recollection.
Of 9/11. I was like 2 or 3.
Technically, you don't have no recollection.
I have no recollection.
You were born. You were alive when it happened, but you don't.
Yeah, like I have no.
And it doesn't mean much to you, right? Would it be fair to say? I mean, you understand that moment. You know what happened and the damage it caused in the country, but it doesn't. It's not nostalgic to you.
Yeah, because they never went through it. I know there's people that lost family members or big impact for them. And of course it still is. But personally, like I'm never gonna have that. Or even again, they say, "Where were you at?" And a lot of people remember where were they at. I don't.
You don't know. You've been held or they're changing your dirty ass pamper and shit.
Exactly. So that if we look at future, the same thing that happened with those cars where no one cared about them and happened. I'm not saying it's not gonna be good as in a change to the world or to the United States, but it's not gonna have that same personal impact. It's like now when we think about wars, like we don't have a personal impact to World War I
or even World War II.
Yeah, barely World War II. They're still people alive. Yeah, barely.
Yeah. So, because now you that was a really valid point. Because if we don't have nostalgia, we don't have the essence of what we are. So, damn. So, do we need nostalgia no matter what?
I feel like we do, but in a controlled way. Because what's happening now is nostalgia is going crazy.
Yeah, that's what sells right now. That's why vintage shit is up.
But think about it. Nostalgia and things that are vintage are like crisscrossing. Because initially it was like, oh, let's go to the 80s. And it was like, okay, go to the 90s. Right now we're like in the 2000s.
Yeah, right now.
And 90s was just like 5 years ago.
Facts.
And usually trends last for like, 5 to 10 years. So the trend is moving really fast.
Extremely. This was probably the fastest hop we've done in a while.
Exactly. So I'm already seeing 2010s. Wow. Early 2010s.
So if I catch one of you weirdos with a weird ass snapback.
So, or no, yeah, we're like at late 2000s as well. Like there's a bunch of people, they call them the blunder year. Ever heard of that?
Please educate me, my lord.
They call them the blunder years where this was like MTV era.
When reality shows became a thing, basically.
Yeah.
That's why even those other weirdos are back on TV, I think, too.
So, like, girls were, like, wearing...
high hair. This was Amy Winehouse type vibes.
So, it was, like, there's pictures of, like, girls, like, where they would wear, like...
and that came from the 80s, technically.
Like a shirt, a long sleeve.
With a dress over it.
Yeah, with a dress
looking like a farmer girl. I said it.
Or, like, skirt. Like it has a definite aesthetic to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even lettering on shirts, like rocks or crystals on shirts that said something.
Or even just like the square pocket.
Yeah, like they're definitely definable. Like you can definitely like know where that time period was from. And again, this is like late 2000s. So right now trend is early 2000s. People on the internet are already reminiscent about late 2000s. So
I'm so glad I'm not on the internet like that. That's nasty.
So again,
what's wrong with y'all,
what's
man?
not to say that in the next few years people are going to want to bring back that style.
But it just that seems to because look, you know that idea where everything comes from something. Somebody was inspired by something that was inspired by somebody. Blah blah blah. Right? Because there has to be this point where whatever was or whatever we're familiar with just doesn't work anymore. Because because I don't know, man. And now I'm thinking, because now you got me thinking, because you brought up a really good point as far as maybe we need it. Maybe we need something always to kind of fall back on.
Because I don't mind. Again, I don't like. I would say in the 2000s, like early 2010s.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm literally wearing a hoodie from like 2012, 13, 13. Fucking crazy.
So like during that time, vintage was like the 70s, 60s,
50s.
Mm-hmm. So, and again, that's still a while back. Where cool, let's explore it. It's a lost time.
Yeah.
But now we're going to a lost time from 10 years ago.
It's just
not really lost.
It's not lost. What are they talking about? It's like vintage. It's not even vintage anymore. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a memory was never a memory when you can bring it back to life. That's a bar. that later. Damn, I gotta write some now. I like that. Anyway, sorry. So nostalgia's not even nostalgia no more, because we're reliving all these moments, these things, these materials, and it's like not really a memory. It's like if you literally would be able to take a memory when you were a child in a happy moment with your family and just go literally be in it. So it's not really a memory anymore, because you can relive it as much as you want. Mm-hmm. Put a VR goggles, go crazy, go relive your 10th birthday.
But I think there's a few reasons for it. I think, like, I would say one of them is consumerism. Right now, what sells is vintage. So
yeah, people like to feel good about what they're wearing.
So again, vintage was 90s. Then it's like, okay, now we've lost the market on that. We still need the vintage, but now let's go to early 2000s.
That's where we're at right now.
And literally. I could see the market shifting to late 2000s vintage.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And again, that's market trends. Like, that's consumerism. Like, that's consumerism wanting us to spend more money. And they saw how profitable it was with vintage items.
Because what I think we're turning into, I don't know, because I like watching when they go vintage shopping in Japan. I think those videos are cool. I hope to make one day, because we'll be empty. I will be in Japan.
When?
I don't know, man. Don't put that kind of pressure on me, man. Don't put
so next year?
Yeah, next year.
This summer.
Next year I'm gonna sneak out and I'm sneak back into from a whole different ocean side.
It's the perfect time. You can just come as a.
That's true though. Venezuelan. I'm joking, man. But Japan, and I don't know if it's the economic state that they're in, because as you guys know, the yen is doing well. Good for us, bad for them in that way. But everything is vintage. There's more vintage stores in Japan than I think of anything else that they have there. Obviously, there's the big brands and the usual shit, but they love vintage. Like, Japan hasn't stopped loving vintage. And I think we're turning into that because we've produced so much, and it becomes a thing. Like,
but wouldn't you say Japan is also very consumerism?
Oh, 100%. No, the point you made is 100% valid. I don't know, man. It's still a thorn in my brain that we have to fall back on old ideas. I don't know why that bothers me so much, but it truly does. So what's one thing you say in 50 years will be nostalgic from this era? Aside from the nostalgia that we're replaying, reusing, what's something that's not from the 90s, the 2000s, that is solely from this era? Is it streaming? Is it the way we're on social media? Because I think that's the one thing that will that will become nostalgic later from this era. So
I feel like social media would live on.
no, it does, but they even do it now. Oh, you remember this challenge? Remember this trend? They go back.
That's more like on trends. That's not really social media per se.
But those kind of trends come from social media, right?
Okay.
They're expressed through it. That's why it's the thing, right? Remember, like people joke around. What was that other social media before Snapchat? There was another one. God damn, and it was like a 5-second video too, or whatever second.
Vine.
People get nostalgic about that now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that. You've seen
that.
the threads.
Yeah.
You know, oh, you remember Vine?
Yeah.
Right. So things like that is what will be the nostalgia next. Oh, remember when people used to stream like this? Remember when people used to just sit on a table with 2 mics?
I feel like it's too early to say, and it's kind of hard to predict.
Well, that's what we're trying.
I would say, smartphones.
We're kind of already doing it.
That's why this is the start of it.
Yeah, that's true, because people lose their shit over old smartphones. Right?
So again, like with the Vision Pro, like I feel like that's the future.
Okay. You're right. Smartphones will be that's I think that's a really good one as well. See, it's not too hard. Just put your brain to it, boy. You got it. Get them wheels spinning.
So I'm pretty sure like in the 50 years,
yeah,
it'll be
smartphones.
Cool to just randomly have a phone.
And just like use it for no real reason.
Yeah.
But just say, oh, look, remember when, you know?
We kind of do it now with like old flip phones.
I literally have a old BlackBerry in my office. That is my fidget toy. You know what I mean? No, you're right. That's a good one. Smartphones would have to be that next nostalgia thing for that next roundabout that happens, right?
And then going back, I feel like another aspect of what's pushing nostalgia is, well, this is a bit of a darker one, but
let's go.
People don't like living in this time. They want to go back to a simpler.
Crazy.
So from what I've seen, I'm Gen Z, but I've seen millennials on the internet talk about how late 2000s, early 2010s was like the best time.
Nah, see, and this is where I gotta jump in, because that's sort of those people we were talking about earlier. They're stuck in. You hit your prime in that time. That's why you think. I gotta chill out. But
no, go,
I gotta chill out.
Go off.
But if you feel like that, it's because you hit your prime, and you were not able to adapt to what is happening now, and that's why you feel like that.
Kind of, because what they're saying is that they can't make money, which I guess is valid. Like,
wait, what's the reasoning?
Like the financial, like the financials aren't good. Like,
well, yeah, that's You finish your point.
Because again,
this is why I can't be on social media.
Because they're basically saying that again, they're like around. Let's say they were like in high school in like 2010. No, they were like in high school like 2005, I guess.
Okay.
Like they were in high school around 2005, graduated like 2009, or started college around 2009. And again, that was a time when the financial crisis started.
2008. Yep.
Yeah, so at that point, they're getting into the workplace with a bad economy. So, and the history has said you'll recover.
We always do, even when it seems like we're not.
But they said they haven't recovered.
Okay. So, when you read this, being from the your generation, do you agree with that? Is that valid? Or does that sound like some victim shit?
I kind of see it because, like...
And this is why I mean the nostalgic is a crutch. This nostalgia shit is a crutch, bruh. Because if you ask a young person right now that maybe is like, let's just think about some of the successful streamers that are happening right now, right? If you ask them, the best moment to be, because
That's true.
This is the most money that at that age you've
Yeah,
ever been.
if you look at any content creator, yeah, they'll do that.
Or just because that's a cop out to me.
Well, here's another counterpoint. Being a content creator was easy
That's
10 years ago.
Yeah, way easier. There was more real money 10 years ago. If you were a content creator 10 years ago,
But you can't do that now, though. There's so much competition.
No, everybody does it. It's easy.
Because, again, the reason I kind of sympathize with them is I feel like our generation is going down a similar path. Because, again, going back, what millennials claim is that baby boomers, basically the older generation, they basically were able to buy their house, they had a sports car, like they were able to live off with one job 40 hours a week. And baby boomers expected that to keep happening. So, but they overtook their share and have made it harder for newer generations to follow that same pathway.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of baby boomers still think it's possible. It isn't. Realistically, it isn't. Baby boomers are still expecting people to work 40 hours a week, have a house, have cars, have a family. But that's not doable anymore.
My generation thinks the same thing.
Of course. Again,
and that's a problem.
You think that's a problem?
That's a huge problem. Okay. So this goes back to the incel conversation we had off mic that we're definitely not going to have on here, right? You continue to think that a structure that obviously doesn't work, you continue to be stubborn about that and think that's the only way to be.
Of course, yeah, of course, it's not. Of course, it's not. But
and I'm not saying it's extremely difficult for some folks right now. I'm not saying it's easy. I understand that because I'm also here. But that's what I'm saying. Nostalgia sometimes. Some things are no longer there. I don't know what to tell you. like you can't go get a factory job and feed your family no more. That's just not how things work.
Of course,
because the future changes and things are get even more wary.
But
across the board,
wouldn't you say, as time progresses, we should be getting better at these things?
And you don't think we're getting better? There's people that can make money off streaming. What do you mean we can't get better?
But for the general population, again, general population for the baby boomers, everyone could do it. Everyone. Now, only select people can do it.
But because they don't want to be proactive, man. Because, okay, so if me and you work in an administrative job, right? We're both front desk, let's just say, for sake of an example, right? And we're just data inputters. That's what an administrative person does. So when they bring in the robot, and they be like, look, Osvaldo and Jesus, well, this thing could do it faster.
Of course.
So either you can fill in another position, or we gotta let you go. Me and you, we gotta fill in another position. We gotta learn something new because the robots are faster. So what's the difference between that simple example and everything else? Why are we still hanging on to these blueprints that obviously are shattered and broken?
So, going exactly what you just said, why are they shattered and broken? The main cause people have explained is the baby boomers. They basically exploited the system, and even to this day, they're still getting all that money.
That I can't argue.
So again, I think that's the main argument where I agree with what you're saying. And it's harder because the people exploiting it are still benefiting, or they're still exploiting it, where during their time they were able to exploit it. Right now, yes, some people can exploit it, but you're competing with the previous generation that's exploiting it as well.
And I don't know if it's my broken brain, but I can't care about that. Because you can't change it.
I see.
I don't. What are we complaining about? Yes, they fucked us, especially my generation.
Mm-hmm.
They fucked us. Okay, so what now? We're just gonna complain, or we're gonna try to be proactive, and hopefully for you, my brother, and everybody that's younger than me, so they don't have it fucked up. Because by default, off what you explained, my generation is doing the same thing that the baby boomers did to us, unconsciously almost.
Kinda, yeah. So because there have been posts of people being like, okay, they fucked us,
so fuck them.
Yeah. So how can we fight back? But even then,
what are we fighting? Like, it's just, and this is why I'm not on the internet like that. But and this is the reason why certain people will be left behind. This is the reason why stay in your time. If 2010 was your year, do your thing, man.
See, and again, that's why people are going back to that time. They didn't have to worry about these financial times they're in.
It just sounds like victimhood and excuses. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, hopefully I don't. But if I lose my whole hand tomorrow, and I get the option to get a robotics hand, you damn right I'm getting a robotics hand. There's no ifs. I'm not gonna cry.
Do you have the money for it?
I'll figure something out. I'll sell all the equipment in here. Getting a hand back. Whatever we gotta do. You know what I mean? Or we'll make a garage version of something, right? Because that's the thing too now. There's a lot of bunch of garage scientists that are down to get crazy, right? But whatever it is, you can't change it, man. What's been done has been done. And yes, it sucks. It's hard, difficult, especially financially. I know it. But if we continue to stay in using nostalgia as a crutch, get over it, man. It just doesn't work like that no more. Babylon doesn't exist no more, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't. One day it did. Now it's gone. It was a great place. But Babylon is no longer here with us. Now we just kind of theorize it over it. But it's going to hold us back from true adaptation of what the consequences of this future through technology is going to bring us. If that's the mindset, we're fucked long term then. And we're going to end up in those dystopians where we have to live underground if you don't have a certain amount of money.
Because, again, I feel like my generation, we're about to hit that point. We're about to... not nostalgia yet.
No, well, you guys are already really fast because, like, my brother that's after you now, they're about, I don't know.
What year was your brother born?
2008. Yeah.
He might still be my generation then.
Okay, then
because I think the next because I'm Gen Z. The next generation.
Oh no, you're definitely Gen. No, you're definitely the same. Yeah, you are definitely Gen. No, never mind. You guys are the same.
Gen
so it would
Z,
have to be even like.
So the new generation is Gen Alpha, which is 2010.
Okay.
So again, even our generation, like we're like people now they've hit the workforce, they're graduating college. So now it's when they're realizing the financial aspect of it.
So we're not gonna go until midnight on this thing. I think we actually went further than we thought we were gonna go today because this was supposed to be fun, and it was fun. It was definitely fun, but we are MTI and we get serious. But the last thing I'm gonna say about this, and I don't care who disagrees, I don't care who doesn't want to hear this. The future is here, ladies and gentlemen.
The future is now.
It's nowhere around this. There's the pillars of structures of things that you depended on are far gone. Get over it. Because if you don't get over it, and I'm not saying don't reminisce, I'm not saying, don't go back to those great moments you had at that point, because you're a human. You can do whatever you want with your own memories. But if you hang on to that and you make nostalgia a crutch, your adaptation as far as how everything else is moving is going to leave you behind. And if, yes, like Osvaldo was making the great point, financially it sucks right now. And it's been sucking for a while. That's a fact. And if you have to go be one of those person that has multiple jobs and whatever certification here, go do it. But that's the climate.
Should that be the norm?
I don't think we have an option. And that's what people
I see.
That's why people continue to forget with this advancement of technology. We do not have options. It's only what is. And that's why we're spoiled, especially in America in that way. There's no options. This is come a half a robot or get left behind. And that's just a crazy example to say, but it's true. The structures that should be there for us are not there. I don't know what you want me to tell you. But if you continue to hang on to these things, you'll never adapt and you'll really suffer. Because suffering now and being poor now is a whole different level of suffering now.
Being poor is expensive.
Well said. Bars. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thanks everybody that was here or will click on this stream. I do appreciate it. And thank you, Osvaldo. Mission completed, sir. And that's Osvaldo. That's Osvaldo. I'm Jesus or HT. And we'll see y'all next time. Like and subscribe, please, if you care what MTI is doing. I'm uploading shorts regularly. Video coming Sunday, long form. So get ready for that. Go subscribe to Katsensila. Go tell him why he needs to be a DJ. Because he will be a DJ. And on that note, thank you, everybody.